Good morning, everybody. We're going to start in a little bit. We're just waiting for the clerk and a couple other people to arrive, and we'll be back as soon as we're ready. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Judge Kim Teresa Malika. You're in First Appearance Magistrate Court. Today, you're going to be informed of the charges against you, and we're going to determine if there's probable cause. Today is not your trial day. Do not talk about the facts of your case. Everything's being recorded. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. We have Mr. Romero, who is at the main jail, and we have Mr. Reedy over here, who is in the courtroom with me if you're not at the main jail. If you have a private attorney, please let me know when you step up to the podium. Thank you. First case is going to be Rosalia Dawn Poirier.
Your Honor, I believe she was here yesterday,
Yeah,
and I think she's in
remember her
Paul
name.
Ryan.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Okay, you have an out-of-state hold for a felony out of Virginia for grand larceny of a GPS monitor. Okay, you're going to be held no bond, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Jean Eduardo. Good morning, sir. You have an out-of-state hold for a felony out of Georgia for false imprisonment and elder abuse. You're going to be held no bond, sir. Thank you. Next one's going to be Derwin Persher Mosby. Mr. Mosby, you have an out-of-state hold for a felony out of Tennessee for 4 counts of possession of controlled substance, manufacture, sale, or deliver in a felony case, sir. Thank you. You're going to be held no bond. Oh.
Down the middle.
Thank you. Okay, Christina Sargent, and then after that is Heidi Vanessa Acosta.
Ms. Sargent's going to be a medical reset, Judge.
Okay. Heidi Vanessa Acosta. Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Judge, she advised me that she has private counsel, Judge.
Okay. Who is your private counsel, ma'am?
His name is Roger Elkin.
Does anybody know Mr. Elkin?
I know who he is.
Can someone get me his number, maybe?
I can get
Does
his
he know that you were arrested? Is he supposed to appear today?
No, he doesn't know I got arrested, but he was involved in my case. He knows about it.
Does anybody have his number? Thank you.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm sorry? Okay.
I use flip me, hit the button when
Can anybody tell me if she was a no-show
Yes, a failure.
at arraignment?
Come on, Roger.
Okay, ma'am, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put your, case on recall, and we'll try your attorney in a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Have a seat. Monk Arajo?
He's approaching, Judge, here at Maine.
Hello. You have a violation of probation for a felony. You're gonna be going before your division judge, Judge Andrew Siegel, on February 27, 2018 at 8:30 a.m. Pending that hearing, you're gonna be held no bond. Thank you. Camry Cooper?
Ms. Cooper?
Child neglect.
Judge, ROR, according to the doctor, so I'm assuming she was released. I don't know if confinement status can confirm.
That's correct.
She's released?
She's going to be released.
Okay, is she's still there, though?
Yes, the paperwork is in the process.
All right, I don't know, Camry Cooper, there's no one there by that name? They said she is gonna be released, but she still is there, so.
She's not here, Judge. Oh. Camry Cooper? Have a seat. No, Ms. Cooper's not here.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Donika Roll.
Roll, come on up, please. Ms. Roll is here at main, Judge, and she is approaching.
Okay, good morning, Ms. Roll. You have a count of trafficking in oxycodone between 14 and 25 grams. Bond is set at $250,000. Court does find probable cause. State?
Your Honor, Ms. Robinson was just convicted, pled out at first appearance, convicted of a theft at Kohl's 5 weeks ago.
Judge, this is Dominica Roll.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I apologize. Looking for her paperwork.
Take your time. And then I think there's a co-defendant, Ms. Brown.
Oh,
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Brown's in North Broward. There's also a third co-defendant, Mr. Harris, later in the docket.
Okay.
one moment, Your Honor.
Nice time, Mr. Romero.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
That's his Friday tie, Judge. Very special.
Okay. I'll have to get a bow tie then in honor of Judge Hurley.
Your Honor, Ms. Roll has no criminal history. However, I do believe if convicted of this offense, she faces, even with no history, she faces a 15-year minimum mandatory prison sentence. So I just ask the court to take that in consideration when setting a bond release conditions.
Okay, so your request for bond is?
Your Honor, I'm not making any request to have the bond increased. I certainly understand if the court's inclined to reduce the bond based on the amount. I'm just asking whatever bond the court ultimately sets, just asking the court to take in addition to whatever information Mr. Romero provides, the minimum mandatory prison sentence she
Okay.
faces.
Thank you. Mr. Romero?
Judge, in speaking with Ms. Roll, as the state confirmed, this is her first exposure to the criminal justice system. She's 34 years old, been here her whole entire life. She went to school down here. She graduated from South Broward High School. She's a single mother. She's a mother of 4 children. She does not work. She takes care of all the children, takes to and from school. Right now, the children are with their aunt. She has one child that's sick that she cares for that is suffering from something associated with sickle cell. Judge, she's a registered voter in our community. Her housing, she gets through Section 8. So right now, as far as any financial resources, she really has none. And the $250,000 bond, which is currently set for her, is tantamount to no bond. Judge, I'd ask you to consider reducing her bond from $250,000 to $10,000. We would not object to this court imposing a standard pretrial. That would be the defense's position, Judge.
Okay, anything further, State?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, court's gonna do GPS level 2. Court's gonna do $25,000 bond. Thank you.
Yes, Judge.
Rokaska Rena Brown.
North Broward, Your Honor.
Ms. Brown? Okay, good morning, ma'am. You are charged with trafficking in oxycodone between 14 and 25 grams. The court does find probable cause. Bond is set at $250,000. State?
One moment, Your Honor. Okay. Nothing? to confirm, Madam Pretrial, we're not getting anything on our system. She doesn't show any criminal history on your end?
I only show one arrest in 2010 for a petty theft that was subsequently acquitted. End of record.
Yeah. Thank you. Your Honor, I would just make same argument as her co-defendant.
Okay, Mr. Reedy.
Your Honor, Miss Brown has been a resident of South Florida all of her life. She does have family here, including her mother and her aunt. She's a single mother of a 9-year-old special needs child. She's been living in the same residence for the last 7 years. She's a self-employed. She does cleaning and she does taxes. She's given me the number of her aunt in the hopes that her aunt and other family members can get together and raise bond. $250,000 is out of the reach of this family. On their best day, they would not be able to post that bond. She did cooperate with the investigation by law enforcement. I would ask the court to consider a $15,000 bond.
Where does it say she cooperated?
She confessed.
See. Yep, it is Brown. All right, GPS level 2. $25,000 bond.
Thank you, Judge. I'll call your aunt for you, Miss Brown.
Thank you. Okay, Rhonda Michelle Robinson.
Ms. Robinson is here present, main judge.
Okay, good morning, Miss Robinson. You are charged with grand theft. This was at Macy's. State?
Your Honor, and I apologize again, this, Ms. Robinson had the conviction for a theft at Kohl's 5 weeks ago. She also had 2007 grand theft and uttering a forged instrument, 02 theft, 01 theft, theft 01, grand theft auto 98, theft 97, grand theft 97, grand theft 92.
Okay, so leave the bond in place?
Yes, that's what
No
I'm,
return to Macy's?
that would be my request, Your Honor.
8,000 West Broward Boulevard, I believe that's, is that Plantation or? Yes, Plantation.
It's Plantation, Judge.
Okay.
Courtroom.
Okay, defense?
Judge, considering at this time, what Mr. Lunder said, at this time, nothing to add from the defense, Judge.
Okay, $1,000 bond, no return to Macy's, thank you. Tricia Ann Sorreo? and then
North
af-
Broward, Your Honor.
And then after that is Jennifer Ann Heck. Good morning, Miss Sorreo, is that how you say it? You gotta push the button there, Deputy, if you could push the button at North Broward?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of grand theft between $300 and $5,000. Bond's been set at $1,000, and you also have resisting without violence, or resistant operator, in recovery of stolen property. This allegedly occurred at Macy's as well, at 8,000 West Broward Boulevard. Court does find probable cause. Anybody want to be heard with regard to bond, Mr. Reedy?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Sorreo indicated to me that she could make the bond as set with the understanding that she not return to that Macy's.
Okay, ma'am. Court's gonna leave the bond at $1,000. You're not to return to the Macy's, 8,000 West Broward Boulevard, Plantation. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Ann Heck, and after that is London Pierce. Is there a Jennifer Ann Heck at the main jail?
Yes, there is, Judge. She's
Okay.
here presently.
Good morning, ma'am. You have a capious misdemeanor for bonds been set at $2,000, and you also have a violation of probation for a felony where you're gonna be held no bond. Your misdemeanor case is going before Judge Cal Evans on February 28th, 2018 at 9 a.m. And then your felony case is Division FK, which is Judge Andrew Siegel, You're gonna be going before him the day before on 2/27/18 at 8:30 a.m. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Good luck, ma'am.
Next one is London Pierce and then Anna Velasco.
Miss Pierce is in the North Broward Detention Center, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, are you Miss London Pierce?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good morning. You have count one, possession of alprazolam, which is also known as Xanax, and you have possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. Bond's been set at $1,000 each count, $2,000 total. The court does find probable cause. Anybody want to be heard?
Miss Pierce indicated to me that she could make the bonds as set, Judge. I'd ask you to leave them in place.
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next one is Anna Velasco, and then we have Samuel Galliot.
North Broward, Your Honor, she's a medical reset.
Anna Velasco is a medical reset.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the only thing I would ask at this point, because I believe Ms. Velasco has been reset. She was originally arrested on the 16th. I would just ask if the court can make a finding of probable cause. I have no objection to her being, assuming the court finds probable cause, I have no objection to her being brought back for bond purposes.
That's fine with me, Judge.
Okay, then the court will make a finding of probable cause. And what did you say? She's gonna be brought back?
For bond purposes, obviously.
Okay.
Where's the other one?
Well, I thought I heard someone knocking, but it seems the door's open. Maybe you wanna check? I know sometimes this light isn't the best indication.
It might be here. I got it.
Okay, thanks. All right, Samuel Galliot. Then after that is Michael Alphonse Leverich. Are you Samuel Galliot, sir?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, sir, you have driving while license is suspended, first offense, $100 bond. The rest, we're not gonna set any bonds.
Judge, Mr. Galliot advised that he declined the services of public defender.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sir, you have driving while license is suspended, first offense, bond set at $100. Counts 2, 3, and 4, we don't need to set a bond. It's failure to register a motor vehicle, tag unsecured, operating a vehicle unsafe with improper equipment. The court does find probable cause. Can you make the $100 bond, sir?
Yes.
Okay. All right, who's gonna bond you out?
And I have to call somebody or I have to bail myself out.
Okay, do you need access to your property?
Yes.
You have $100 in a debit card or cash in your property at the jail?
No. I got $90 on my cash on my wallet.
Do you live at 420 East Dayton Circle, Fort Lauderdale?
Yes, that's my family address.
Okay, if I ROR you, are you going to come back to court?
Sure.
You don't sound that positive. Sure sounds a little
Yes.
bit, okay.
Yes.
All right, the court's gonna ROR you, sir. If you don't, you're just gonna be back here again, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. Michael Alphonse Leverich, and then we have Curtis Plummer.
Mr. Leverage is here present, Judge, at Maine. You have private account?
Well, no, not technically. I have to pay them for the
So
case.
they're not.
We can hear you.
Attorneys officially on it, we can't help.
They're not official.
They're not, okay.
They're not
All right, no problem.
Okay, sir, you are Michael Leverich.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you have a capias for possession, display of suspended, revoked, or, I don't know, what is FRD?
Fraudulent.
License.
Pardon?
It's not
Fraudulent.
It's just
Fraudulent.
Oh, fraudulent, I'm sorry, license. Does he
Hector,
wanna
we can
resolve-
hear you.
Does he want to resolve his case today?
Yes, absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay,
Please.
is that what he wants to do?
Yes, apparently, yes, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Linder, any objection to withhold in court costs?
No, Judge.
Okay, sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear and/or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, put your hand down. Is your name Michael Alphonse, Alphonse, Leverich, Leverich?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it's my understanding you wish to waive your right to a trial and plead no contest today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone forcing you to do this?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication?
No, Your Honor.
Ever been treated for a mental illness?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, understanding what I just explained to you, are you pleading guilty or no contest to possession or display of a fraudulent ID?
No contest, Judge.
Okay, the court's gonna accept your plea, find that it's freely and voluntarily entered. The court is gonna withhold adjudication, take judicial notice of the time that you served in the Broward County Jail. The court's gonna impose court costs, which I have to, of $293. Mr. Romero, how much time does your client need to pay?
Let me inquire. Judge, he's gonna be at for 3 months.
Okay, the court will give you 90 days to pay the $293. Mr. Romero, if you could tell him the ramifications if he doesn't pay it. You have 30 days to appeal the sentence to the court. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed. Thank you.
Good luck, sir.
Curtis Plummer, and then we have Telson Alfred.
Mr. Plummer is approaching, Judge.
Okay, he has possession of cannabis. Does he want to resolve his case?
Judge, I was trying to talk to him. He was informing me that he went to court. He believes this capias was issued in error, and that's the issue he wanted to try and discuss. So we
Okay.
didn't get down to determining whether or not he wanted to resolve it, or he was going to post bond, or the other kind of questions.
Okay, state.
Is it okay if I speak to him?
Yeah, but not about the facts of the case. But right now,
Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm okay. They did issue on capias, right? Me missing my court date, so me and my wife went downtown, and they made me pay a fee to lift the capias and reschedule a court date. They gave me a piece of paper stating 10 days that the capias would be lifted and that would be good. So I needed to keep this piece of paper in case the police stop me. I could show them and I won't go to jail. So I don't know why I'm in jail right now.
What happened was, Your Honor, he failed to appear on this case in West Satellite December 13th of last year. He did prepare a request to have the capias withdrawn, which was granted. He then had an arraignment scheduled for February 14th. He didn't appear at that arraignment, and then this capias was issued.
Okay, sir, is your address 1800 Northwest 25th Ave?
Yes, ma'am.
That's in,
But-
go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, go.
But on my ID, I was.
No, don't tell me about your ID, sir, what the address is. Okay? So,
Address is not.
let me
it's
just ask you
1800.
this, sir. Do you want to resolve your case today, or do you want me to ROR you? Up to you. You can resolve the whole case today. You have any objection to a withhold?
No,
Okay, the
the
court will
state's-
give him a withhold of
that would
adjudication
be
and
the
court
state's
costs.
offer.
It's up to
Let
him,
me ask you,
doesn't
Judge.
matter to me.
Let me ask you. Judge, he wishes to accept the court's offer and accept the withhold adjudication.
Okay, how much time to pay? It's 308 in court costs.
Let me ask. Judge, yes, he'll be requesting 12 months.
Okay, sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear and/or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, your name is Curtis Plummer, Plummer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, put your hand down. It's my understanding you wish to waive your right to a trial, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you to do this?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication?
Absolutely not, ma'am.
Ever been treated for a mental illness?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you want to plead no contest to possession of marijuana under 20 grams?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the court's going to accept your plea, find that it's freely and voluntarily entered. The court has reviewed the court file, finds probable cause for the plea. The court's going to withhold adjudication and impose court costs of $308. The court will give you 12 months to pay that. The court is going to take judicial notice of the time that you served in the Broward County Jail.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You have 30 days to appeal the sentence of the court. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed. Good luck to you. You're done with this case, sir, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Telson Alfred?
Mr. Alfred, come on up, please.
Mr. Alfred, you have driving while license is suspended, second offense, $100 bond's been set, altering a license plate, violation, validation sticker or obscure. There's no bond attached to that, and you have a writ of attachment for $2,000. I believe that's for child support. Yes, it is, out of Orange County, Florida. So, would you like to resolve these two cases today, or does he want me to, what does he want to do?
That's, one moment, Judge.
Sir, which case are you here on? Oh, okay.
She's here on one of the cases we're here.
Oh, okay.
Judge, this is John James from NMR.
Oh, hi, nice to meet you. How are you?
Judge, respectfully in speaking, Mr. Alfred, he's gonna try and post his monetary bond on count one. The only thing I'd ask you to consider is, considering on count three, I have advised him there's nothing the court could do regarding the $2,000 purge on the child support. Would your honor consider an ROR on count one so then his family can focus
Yes,
all their efforts
ROR
on
count
paying?
one. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sydney Brave. And then we have Travis Jenkins.
Mr. Brave, come on up, please.
Okay, this is another one. Good morning. Are you Sydney Brave?
Yes, morning.
Okay, good morning, sir. You have a habeas for a possession of cannabis under 20 grams. You didn't show up for arraignment on January 24th, 2018. Does he want to
Judge, Mr.
resolve
Bra-
this case?
Want to try and resolve the case, and you would be asking if your honor would consider giving them a withhold adjudication, take judicial notice of time served.
State, any objection?
No.
No objection by the state. Okay, how much time for the 308?
He'd be requesting 6 months, Judge.
Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear and/or affirm to tell the truth?
Yeah, I swear.
Okay, is your name Sydney Brave, B-R-A-V-E?
Yes.
Okay, it's my understanding you wish to waive your right to a trial?
Yes.
Put your hand down. Anybody forcing you to do this?
No.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication?
No.
Okay, you you ever been treated for a mental illness?
No.
Want to plead no contest to possession of marijuana under 20 grams?
Yes.
Okay, the court's going to accept your plea, find that it's freely and voluntarily entered. The court has reviewed the court file, finds probable cause for the plea. The court's going to withhold adjudication, impose court costs of $308, give you 6 months to pay. The court takes judicial notice of the time in the Broward County Jail, sir. You have 30 days to appeal the sentence to the court. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed. Thank you, sir. You're done with this case, okay?
Good luck, sir.
Okay, Travis Jenkins.
Mr. Jenkins is here present, Judge at Maine.
Okay, you have a probation violation. You're going to be held no bond on that charge. You also have a loitering or prowling bond set at $25. Court does find probable cause. Okay, you're going to be held no bond, sir, pending your hearing with your other judge, okay? You want me to change it to ROR, Mr.
No, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Felix Galega. Gallego.
Or bonded, Judge.
Bonded? Okay, next one is Nicholas Yant.
Mr. Young, come on up, please.
Okay, Mr. Yant, and then we have Juan Perez. Okay, Mr. Yant, you're charged with assault on an officer firefighter. Bond's been set. Is that correct at $100?
Yes, it is.
Okay, court's gonna find probable cause. Can you afford $100, sir?
Unfortunately, from what he told me, cannot, Judge. He's living at a halfway house at this time. He's unemployed. He's looking for work.
Hey,
He's
what's
gonna
his
be
priors?
asking, Your Honor, this is a first-degree misdemeanor, Judge. He's gonna be asking Your Honor to consider releasing him ROR.
Well, Your Honor, he does not appear he has ties to the community. He's from Connecticut. His priors are out of the state of Connecticut. 2012, 2 counts resisting law enforcement. 2012, resisting law enforcement, breach of the peace. 2016, resisting law enforcement. And also noting similar behavior in this case, threatening to physically attack a paramedic.
Where does he live?
He's at a halfway house, unfortunately, Judge. He has no other residence that he could stay at.
What's the address of the halfway house and the name?
Primary purpose, 2458 Southwest 42nd Ave.
And where is that, sir?
Fort Lauderdale.
Do you have a zip code?
33317.
Are they gonna let you back there, sir?
I would have to go there to find out, Your Honor.
Okay, court's gonna put him on standard pretrial release. Pending verification. You said it's primary purpose, sir?
Yes. Your Honor.
Okay. This address of 45 Ward Street, Waterbury, Connecticut, is that a relative? Is that where you can get your mail?
I can get mail there, yeah.
Okay. All right, because I'm not gonna change your address, so you're gonna have to speak to somebody at that address. That's the one the clerk's gonna use, but you might also wanna check online, because if you don't appear for court, another capias is gonna be issued. So, Ms. Patrice, it's $100 bond. I'm gonna ROR him pending verification. So what would you like me to put on here?
Just leave the bond in place, Your Honor, and just put pending verification.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
We call one out of turn.
Sure. no
On
problem.
page 20, Mauricio Carrera, his father is here.
Okay, where is that on the docket?
It's just almost at the very end, Judge. Correa.
Okay.
So why don't you step up here, sir?
Mauricio Carrera.
He's here present, Judge, I mean.
Okay, Mr. Carrera, your dad's here in court. Sir, state your first and last name and
Mauricio Correa as well.
Correa.
Yes.
Okay, and your relationship is you're the father of Mauricio?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sir, you're charged with 1 count of possession of THC, count 2, possession of alprazolam, which is also known as Xanax. Bond's been set at $1,000 each count for a total of $2,000. The court does find probable cause. Can you afford to pay, or sir, can you afford to pay the $2,000?
Yes, I can. But I was hoping that he gets released since this is the first misdemeanor that he's got, and no.
These aren't misdemeanors, sir. These are 2 felony charges, third-degree
okay.
felonies. Maximum
Okay.
penalty is $5,000 fine and/or 5 years in Florida State Prison. So, court's gonna keep the bond if you can pay it at $1,000 each. You just have to go contact the bondsman, okay? Thank you,
So just
sir.
gotta call him that and we'll.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Juan Perez?
That's it.
Good luck,
I
sir.
gotta go.
Juan Perez, and then we have Elijah Gregory Moran.
Sometimes there's cases that show or open, that's why if you have an open case, I'll tell the judge to check the board. Double check that.
Hey, are you Juan Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you have an ad charge of false report of a bomb explosive weapon of mass destruction. Court does find probable cause. We need to talk about your bond. State.
Yes, Your Honor, just to advise the court, Mr. Perez is he's being held on $4,500 worth of bond for possession of heroin with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cocaine, and possession of alprazolam. He's also being held no bond on charges of felony theft, resisting an officer without violence, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Your Honor, based on the allegations in the case, state would be requesting a $15,000 bond.
Judge, based on my reading of this probable cause affidavit, from what Mr. Perez indicated, that this was a joke, he never meant to send this message. I'm not saying that Mr. Perez should be commended for his alleged sense of humor, but it does seem that he says someone reached around him and hit the send button. That seems to be somewhat supported by the videotape that we had, or that we don't have to review. I guess Mr. German is the one who supposedly hit the button. He admitted that he should not have written the message, was willing to take responsibility. He had no intention of actually doing any harm to anyone at any time. I know that this is a sensitive issue. He's being held no bond anyway. I'd ask the court to consider a $1,000 bond on this. I think 15 for what I think can be argued is a bad joke gone bad is excessive.
Your Honor, I would also note, and I'm sure the court's familiar, I'm just making a record, but according to the witness, Mr. Perez sent the message.
Okay, court's gonna set a bond at $25,000, GPS level 2. Sir, you're not to be around any elementary, junior, or high schools, okay, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Our Spanish interpreter is here, Judge.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Okay, hello, sir, how are you? Okay, which case are you here on? Do we know?
Just any case you may.
Judge, Mr. Ramirez Martinez on page 13 of your docs is going to be halfway in your paperwork.
What page are we on now?
10.
Are on 10.
Okay, Luis Ramirez Martinez? You said?
Yes.
Okay, anybody else?
On page 16, with Mr. Amado Enrique Martinez.
Anybody else?
At this point, I'm unaware, but I can ask Judge.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, anybody need the services of the public defender at Spanish interpreter at North Broward? North Broward, good morning, deputy. Anybody need a Spanish interpreter there?
Good morning, Your Honor. No, ma'am.
Okay, anybody at Conti or Paul Ryan need the services of a Spanish interpreter?
I hear Paul Ryan, Your Honor.
Okay, what about Conti? Is anybody there? Okay. Let's go back. All right, sir, if you could raise your right hand, do you swear and/or affirm to translate from Spanish to English, English to Spanish?
I do.
Okay,
Martin
state
Vido.
your first and last name and spell your last name.
Martin Vido, Vidaud.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. You can put your hand down. Okay, are you Luis Ramirez Martinez?
¿Es usted Luis Martínez Ramírez?
Sí.
Okay,
Yes.
sir, you're charged with one count, possession of cocaine, $1,000 bond's been set.
De acuerdo, señor. Esto se le acusa de un cargo de posesión de cocaína, donde se ha fijado una fianza de $1,000.
Counts 2, 3, and 4, we're not gonna have any bonds attached to them,
Los cargos 2, 3 y 4 no tendrán fianza vinculada,
which is possession of drug paraphernalia, operating without a valid license, and expired tag less than 6 months.
los cuales son posesión de objetos por el abuso de drogas, conducir sin licencia válida y tener las matrículas vencidas menos de 6 meses.
You do have 2 capious misdemeanors with the $1,000 bond attached to each count for your failure to appear
Sí que tiene 2 órdenes de arresto por delitos menores
of $1,000 each,
de $1,000 cada una por falta de haber comparecido al tribunal.
and that's for operating without a valid license.
Uno por falta de conducir sin licencia válida.
Court does find probable cause.
El tribunal falla de que hay motivo fundado para el cargo.
Can you pay the $3,000 in bond, sir?
¿Podrá pagar los $3,000 en fianza, señor?
Judge, in speaking to Mr. Ramirez Martinez, we're going to be asking Your Honor to sign a phone order allowing access to his phone.
Sure.
He believes that family and friends will be able to post the premium with the bond and on the $3,000.
Sí, señoría, al hablar con el señor Martínez Ramírez me ha dicho que si podemos pedir una orden de teléfono, ya que él cree que al ponerse en contacto con su familia o amigos podrá recaudar los fondos para prestar esa fianza de $3,000.
And the court's going to grant the request.
Y el
for a
juez
phone
va
order.
a hallarle lugar a ese pedido.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so leave the bonds in place.
De acuerdo, entonces la fianza permanece como fija.
Yes, Judge.
Okay,
pues.
thank you very much. Good luck to you, sir.
De acuerdo. Le deseo lo mejor, señor.
Then we have Amado Enrique Martinez.
Señor Martinez, ven aquí, por favor.
Your Honor, I'm going to be asking that this matter be reset for the afternoon.
Sí, señoría, voy a pedir de que este tema sea fijado para la tarde.
I'm
Razón.
awaiting a supplemental report from the arresting detective with more detailed information about counts 1 and 2.
Okay,
Hay un
sir,
informe
we're gonna
suplementario por parte del el oficial del orden público, lo cual tiene información más detallada.
Okay, Mr. Martinez, we're going to reset this for this afternoon.
Señor Martínez, le vamos a pasar para esta tarde.
State attorney's telling me that additional information is needed before we resolve your case today, okay?
El fiscal asignado me ha dicho de que hay información necesaria, adicional, que tiene que ser repasada antes de que podamos visitar su caso. ¿De acuerdo?
Thank you. We'll see you back at 1 o'clock, sir.
Le veremos a la 1.
Okay, thank you.
You're very
And we'll
welcome.
see you back, or can someone call the interpreter's office and be back here around 1?
Well, somebody has to call you. Yes, please. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Have a good day, sir. Okay, Elijah Gregory Moran.
North Broward, Your Honor.
Okay, are you Elijah Gregory Moran?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you have some ad charges. Count 10 is possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon. Florida felon, we need to talk about bond. You also have counts 11, 12, and 13. Grand theft between $300 and $5,000. Bond's been set at $1,000 each count. And then you have count 4, petty theft, second degree, third subsequent offense. Bond's been set at $750. State?
Your Honor, the state is going to be requesting a $10,000 bond on count 10. Your Honor, on one of the 9 counts Mr. Moran's being held on is an armed burglary of a dwelling. You actually, you had his first appearance, I believe, last week. I spoke with Detective Goulding about that case. The gun that is mentioned in this case was the alleged gun that was stolen from the burglary dwelling. They obtained a search warrant on his car after his arrest and located the gun in his vehicle.
Judge, Mr. Moran has several no bond holds at this time. So whatever bond the court sets, he's not going to be able to be released until he goes in front of his division judge. I think 10,000 might be excessive, but I'd ask for 5.
Okay, anything further?
No, ma'am.
Okay, on count 10, court's gonna set bond at $10,000. Counts 11, 12, and 13, $1,000 each. Count 14, $750. There's no victim contact, direct or indirect, through third party, social media, no calling through the jail, or in person. with the victims, the alleged victims, with the initials JS and SY. And if you are released, sir, on counts 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, you're going to have a GPS level 2. Thank you, sir. Next one is Jordan Emmanuel Bell.
Mr. Bell's here, present, Judge. He declined to serve as a public defender.
Okay, and then the next one is Daniel Jason Bellany. Okay, are you Jordan Emmanuel Bell, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you have a violation of probation. You're going to be going before Judge Martin Fine on March 2nd, 2018 at 8:45 a.m., sir, and pending that hearing, you're going to be held no bond. Thank you.
Wait, what was the date again?
March 2nd, 2018 at 8:30 or 8:45 a.m., okay? Judge Fine, thank you. Daniel Jackson Bellany and then Terry Cyrus.
Mr. Bellany is here, present, Judge at Maine.
Okay.
Come on up, Mr. Bellany.
Good morning, Mr. Bellany. You're charged with count 1, resisting an officer without violence. Bond's been set at $100. Possession of cocaine, possession of PVP. Bond's been set in those 2 counts at $1,000 each. Possession of cannabis under 20 grams. Bond set at $100, and then you have trespass or failure to leave property upon order by owner. Bond set at $25. So you have a total of $2,225, if my math is correct. Bond. The court does find probable cause. Can you make that bond, sir, of $2,225?
Judge, in speaking with Mr. Bellany, he's going to be asking Your Honor to sign an order allowing him access to his phone to get the contacts, and he believes he'll be able to contact his friends as opposed to monetary bond.
Okay, the court's going to grant a phone order.
You should have changed the O to E.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Good luck to you. Terry Cyrus and then John Panero.
Mr. Cyrus is here, present, Judge at Maine.
Okay, Mr. Cyrus, you have counts 1 and 2, violation of probation for a felony. You're going to be going before Judge Michael Rothschild on February 27, 2018 at 8:30 a.m. And pending that hearing, sir, you're going to be held no bond. Thank you and good luck.
That,
Okay, let me just try this attorney again. No problem.
Firearm convicted felon, trafficking.
Sure. Are you Roger Elkin?
Yes, I think you tried to call me earlier.
Yes, this is Judge Malika on First Appearance Court in Broward County, Florida. How are you?
see what she says.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I have a client of yours, Heidi Vanessa Acosta. She's here on a capias for a possession of drug paraphernalia. Does anybody know, are you representing her in this case?
Well, her sister just called me and told me about it. I didn't have my name filed on that case, and I hadn't heard of it.
Okay, well, here's the situation. She's charged with possession of drug paraphernalia. She has a no-show of arraignment on 2/14/18, so the judge in that case issued a capias of $500. If you don't want to go forward today, the court would be amenable to having the public defender's office represent her. The court would try to resolve the case today and offer her a withhold of adjudication and court costs, or she can bond out at $500, or we could talk about the bond. Do you want to represent her, or should I have the public defender's office represent her?
Well, I'm on my way to Miami, so how would I do that, on the phone?
You could do it on the phone, sir.
Who am I speaking with? Are you the clerk? Are you the state?
No, I'm the judge in the case.
Oh, you're the judge, I'm sorry.
That's
if
okay,
you
no
let me do it
problem.
I'm sorry. If you let me do it on the phone, I represent her on some traffic tickets, and I certainly don't mind helping her out. I would be asking for an ROR. I don't think she should take a plea right now, but.
Okay, that's fine, so, hold on, let me get her, okay? Do we have a Heidi Vanessa Acosta? Maine?
Hi, Your Honor.
Hi, how are you? All right, Miss Heidi Vanessa Acosta, we have your attorney, Mr. Elkins, on the phone. He just got a call from your sister. And your attorney indicated to me that he, is going to represent you in this. You know what? There is an issue, because there is a capias. She did fail to appear for arraignment. I'm not supposed to change it technically, but I do have authorization from the division judges. So can somebody tell me why she failed to appear on 214?
It was an arraignment, Judge.
For an arraignment?
Yes.
Hold on, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm just announced my appearance, Roger Eltelling on behalf of Heidi Acosta. And I was just contacted by her sister. She failed to appear for an arraignment, and I don't know the reason.
Okay, all right, so, ma'am, do you live at 254 Southwest 16th Street?
I do, Your Honor.
That's where you get your mail?
I do, yes.
All right, can she afford the $500 bond?
I
She
can't.
was working at the, I know where she works, and
She's saying she can afford the bond.
oh, well, I'm letting you know, I don't know where she's gonna get the money from, because she could not hardly even pay for the traffic ticket representation the other day, so she must be talking about borrowing it from her mother or her sister. But as far as her affording it herself, she lost her appointment with me in Miami, where she was working behind the counter. So I was just asking, she has no priors for an ROR.
All right, can someone afford, though, to pay her bond of $500? That's what I'm asking. I mean, she does have a capias for failure to appear. So if someone else is gonna put up the money for her, I'd prefer to keep her bond at $500. Otherwise, I'm gonna put her on standard pretrial release, and she's gonna have to report, once a month. She's gonna have to report when she gets out of jail. She's gonna have to call in 2 times a week. So I'll leave it in your discretion. 500, standard pretrial release.
500.
She wants 500.
Okay.
All right?
I would recommend pretrial release for her, but she wants to do what she wants.
Yes?
Okay, he said he would recommend standard pretrial release, but your attorney said you could do what you want.
What would be best? Wait,
I can't give you legal advice. One of them, you're gonna bond out, and you just have to show back up to court. If you don't show up to court, then you're gonna have another warrant issued for your arrest, and you're gonna be right back where you started. If you can bond out at the $500, if you can't get somebody to bond you out at the $500, then the court would be amenable to putting you on standard pretrial release, but after you get out of jail, you're gonna have to go over to the pretrial release office, if it's not after 4 o'clock or within 24 hours, and you're gonna have to call in twice a week and report once a month in person, in addition to going to court.
That is if I don't pay the 500, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let
I
me say
thought-
something, hold on a second, since I'm the attorney, let me just say something here. Do you want me to represent you or not? Because if you do, you need to follow my advice. Am I representing you or not?
Is he representing you or not?
Yes.
Because I'm not gonna have you contradicting me. Am I representing you or not?
Yes, Roger, you are.
Okay, my advice is for you to take the pretrial release. Your family doesn't need to spend the 500, and you can report, and when the case is over, you don't have to report anymore. And you'll get out of jail sooner that way, because your sister and your mother, it's gonna take time for them to post that bond.
Meaning,
Okay, thank you, Roger.
okay, so what would you like to do, ma'am?
Yes, I would go with the pre-trial.
Okay, standard pretrial release. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
So,
much.
You're welcome,
but
sir.
my understanding, Your Honor, she
Hold
does
on.
have to report once a month? Is
Yeah.
that, okay, all right.
2 times a week on the phone she has to call, and once a month. So this is what happens. Are you still there?
Yeah, that's why I want to make it
Yes.
clear
Yes,
for her.
I think she can handle that, but yes, go ahead.
Okay, if she gets out of the jail, I don't know what time she's gonna get out today, but if it's not, enough of time for her to get over to the pretrial office, or it's after they close, then what's gonna happen is she's gonna have to report there tomorrow by 3 PM. They close at 4, what? Oh, Monday. I'm sorry, cause today's Friday. So she's gonna have to report by Monday if she can't get there today. And then, she'll have to start calling in twice a week and reporting once a month, okay?
That's fine, and I can help her with the case. We can move it along.
Okay.
And, we'll see how it goes, okay?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, good luck to you, ma'am. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. John Panero?
North Broward, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Panero, how are you?
Good, Your Honor. How are you?
Good. You have a violation of community control. You're going before your division judge on February 27, 2018. I believe that's Tuesday, am I correct?
All right.
Okay, and it's Division FF. Let's see who that is. It's Judge Ernest Kalra. So February 27, Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. But pending that hearing, sir, you're going to be held no bond, okay? Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Michael Dennis Latham and then Ernest
Yes, Your
Merritt.
President Judge at Maine.
Okay, Mr. Latham, how are you, sir?
Been better.
Okay, I understand. Count 1 is trespass, unoccupied structure, or conveyance. Bond's been set at $25. You have a violation of probation where you're going to be held no bond. And you also have another probation violation or community control going before your division judge, who is Judge Elizabeth Shear, on February 28th, which I believe is Wednesday, at 8:45 a.m. So we'll leave the bond to $25 for the trespass in place, considering you have 2 no bond holds. February 28th at 8:45. Good luck to you, sir.
Good luck, sir.
Ernest Merritt, and then after that, we have Walter Simmons.
Mr. Merritt's North Broward, John.
North Broward, Your Honor.
Okay, are you Ernest Merritt, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Ernest
Okay,
Merritt.
sir, you have disorderly intoxication. I'm sorry. Disorderly intoxication, public place causes disturbance. We don't have to set a bond in that. Same thing, basically disorderly conduct, brawl or fight. Count 2, we don't set a bond in that. We have resisting an officer without violence. Bond's been set at $100. And you have a parole violation, sir, which has a no bond hold. I am gonna say, sir, that you are not to return to the Little Lacorn development. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have any objection to us RORing him on the resisting without, since he has a parole violation?
No, as long as he understands, it's not a situation like where there's out-of-county VOPs where like that's what's holding him here. He's still gonna remain in custody in Broward, on the parole hold.
Okay, all right, so then I'll just leave his bond in place at $100.
Excuse me, ma'am, but my probation officer, my parole officer, she will release me. My parole is from Georgia.
Okay, I'm gonna ROR him on the, count 3. Okay, good luck to you, sir. I ROR'd you. No bonds on counts 1, 2, and 3. The only thing holding you is your parole violation, okay? And if you could deal with that and they'll let you go,
Yes.
then you'll get out of jail. The only thing is, you have to make sure, wait, let me get this back. Hold on. That if you are released on your parole violation, that you do show up to court. Is your mailing address 544 Northwest 13th Ave, Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah, it used to be that was the situation where we had where they said I was.
All right, don't
there.
talk about that. Just tell me
Okay.
what a good mailing address is for you on these 3 cases, not the parole case, but for this, where you can get notice to appear in court.
Okay. 537 Northwest 16th Avenue.
Wait, Northwest 16th Avenue?
Yes.
And that is in Fort Lauderdale?
Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33311.
33311.
Yes.
Okay, if you move or change your mailing address from the 537 address, it's your responsibility to contact the clerk of court in Broward County with regard to these 3 cases. And I believe it's just 1 case number of your new mailing address, because if you miss court, you're gonna get arrested and then you could get violated again. Okay?
Okay.
But as of now, I updated your address, or the clerk's gonna update it to the 537 Northwest 16th Ave, okay?
Okay.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
to you, sir. You're welcome. Walter Simmons, and then we have Lawrence Mullins.
Walter Simmons is here, President Judge at Maine.
Okay, Mr. Simmons, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm all right, Your
Okay, you have a violation of probation. Your probation hearing is going to be heard before Judge Elizabeth Shear on February 28th, 2018 at 8:45 a.m. And pending that hearing, sir, you're going to be held no bond as well. Thank you. Good luck to you. Lawrence Mullins and then Pardro Timothy Bozeman.
Mr. Mullins is here, present main judge.
Okay, Mr. Mullins, you are charged with count 1, possession of weapon or ammo by a convicted Florida felon. We need to talk about what bond we're going to set today. Count 2 is trafficking in heroin between 4 grams and 14 grams. Bond set at $75,000. Count 3, possession with intent to sell, manufacture, or deliver cocaine. Bond set at $2,500. We have aggravated battery. Count 4, with a deadly weapon. We have to talk about a bond, as well as count 5, talking about a bond. Which is the same as count 1, possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted Florida felon. And then you have count 6 and 7, which each carry a $1,000 bond. Count 6 is possession of hydromorphine, Dilaudid, and count 7, introduce contraband into a detention facility. So the total bond set right now is $77, $78, $79, $79,500, not including count 1, 4, and 5, which we need to talk about the bond. The court does find probable cause. State?
Your Honor, I'm going to be requesting a $2,500 bond on count 1. I'm asking that the bond on count 2 be kept in place. On count 4, I'm asking for a $25,000 bond, and on
25,000?
Yes, Judge.
I didn't know if you said
No,
2,500,000.
I-
So it's 2,500 and 25,000,
Yes,
okay?
and it just occurred to me that, I had my commas off from one to the other, but,
Okay.
and 10,000 on 5. Your Honor, to advise the court, first off, the aggravated battery, actual possession of a firearm, and possession of firearm by convicted felon have been assigned to Judge Backman's division in Rockport. So
Okay.
he's facing potentially enhanced penalties, which I believe is a consideration for the court, the consequences Mr. Mullins faces. I also believe he's potentially our PRR qualified on those counts. Your Honor, Mr. Mullins in 2005 in Palm Beach County was convicted of burglary of an occupied dwelling, 4 counts of grand theft, and possession of heroin. He was sentenced to 12 years and a month in Florida State Prison, and he was released July 18th of 2015. He has 13 prior felony convictions. He's been arrested one.
Take your time.
Your Honor, from what I can tell, he's been arrested at least once previously for failing to appear in court. He does have a prior aggravated battery in his past, and since his release, he has picked up a trespass in 2016 in Broward. And, Your Honor, state would also be requesting no victim contact, no victim witness contact on count 4, and that would be for 2 individuals with the initials SP and GT.
G,
T,
T,
yes. And
like grand theft, you mean?
that's what I was gonna say, but
Okay.
he says, yeah. I'd be, also, should Mr. Mullins post his bond, we'd be requesting pretrial release with the GPS monitor. Yes, ma'am.
Level 2.
Yeah, I'm fine with level 2. Just on the.
Okay, defense?
Judge, in speaking of Mr. Mullins, he's 58 years old. He's been in South Florida his entire life. He's self-employed. He does maintenance for a living. He makes on an average about $400 a week. He lives in Lauderhill. He lives with his son and the mother of his son. His son is 30 years old. That's the person Mr. Mullins is going to be contacting and post his bond. His son works doing construction. He doesn't know exactly how much he gets paid, but he speculates somewhere around the same. He gets paid a week about $400 per week. Besides that, I know his son has obligations from what he told me, currently also paying child support. They've been residing at the same location, the same apartment in Lauderhill for about 3 years. What the state is suggesting as far as the bond is going to be well over $100,000, Judge. I mean, that would take him many, many years of working nonstop in order to come up with that sort of bond, Judge. That's tantamount to no bond for Mr. Mullins. Judge, I ask you to consider setting a reasonable bond, considering Mr. Mullins' financial circumstances, and at this and the defense would not oppose if Your Honor goes ahead and imposes pretrial release to supervise Mr. Mullins.
I would also point out, Judge, that according to the probable cause affidavit on count 4, the victim in that case indicated he was not afraid. The independent witness indicated that that if she used to sell the defendant drugs, and she was uncooperative in the investigation. So I don't know how far this aggravated battery case is going to go. I'd ask the court to take that into consideration when setting bond as well.
And that's why I think and I note that it's in Judge Backman's division, Your Honor. It's a filed case. It went so far as the state has investigated and made a determination to file an information. We're past the point of just a mere investigation, Your Honor, by law enforcement.
Okay, GPS level 2, no victim contact, direct or indirect, with the alleged victims with the initials SP and GT. Also, the court's going to set bond at $2,500 count 1, keep the bond at $75,000 2, $2,500 on 3, count 4, $25,000, count 5, $2,500, count 6 and 7, $1,000 each. Good luck to you, sir. Pardero Timothy Bozeman. And then we have Levon George Gibbs. Okay, are you Mr. Pardero Timothy Bozeman?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, you have count 1, resisting an officer without violence, actually counts 1 and 2. Count 1 just has a bond of $100. Then we have a probation violation of community control. You're going to be held no bond. You are going to be going before your division judge, Judge Michael Rothschild, on February 27, 2018 at 8:30 a.m. And then you're going to be going before Judge Kenneth Gottlieb for your violation of probation for your misdemeanor, which the court has released you on your own recognizance, but you have to go to court on, it says to be set in the division. And then we have another one where you're held no bond for your violation of probation for your misdemeanor. And we have a violation of probation for your felony, another one, which you're going to be held no bond. So just to make it clear, you have a $100 bond on count 1, and counts 3, 5, and 6, you're held no bond. Okay, sir? So it's really a $100 bond other than the no bonds. Good luck to you, sir.
Good luck, sir.
Okay, we have Levon George Gibbs, and then we have,
Is your present, Judge?
and then we have Benjamin White Whitfield. Okay, are you Mr. Gibbs?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, sir. You have 3 counts of violation of community control. You're going to be held no bond pending your hearing. Your hearing is February 27th, which I believe is Tuesday, at 8:45 a.m. You're going to be going before your judge, Judge Edward Merrigan, February 27th. Good luck to you, sir, on Tuesday, okay?
Your Honor, before you move on to Mr. Whitfield, there's a gentleman up in North Broward who's on the docket, but I don't think we have any paperwork. His name is Calvin Easterly. He is here. They have him up in North Broward now. I don't know if, I guess the clerk does not have any paperwork on him for this morning. It's a violation of a court order with a no bond hold. It says not for magistrate. Okay, so I'm just going to ask them to send him back.
Can we go to North Broward? Who is it?
Calvin Easterly.
Let's at least tell him so he understands.
Right, that's what I was going to ask the court to do.
Okay.
Mr. Easterly?
Okay, Mr. Easterly, I don't know why they brought you here today. It was an error, so we're going to remove you from our docket. But Mr. Reedy, can you explain to him?
There's really nothing I can tell him, Judge. He's got a no bond hold for a court order on a burglary of an unoccupied structure. I do not have a court date for you, Mr. Easterly. I'm sorry.
So he can contact someone from the public defender's office.
I think that we would be able to give, I would say, like next week, give us a call and we should be able to give you your court date. I can't hear you.
You gotta put.
You need to hit that button in front of you.
I already got a public defender. Her name's Teresa Freitas.
Okay, you're all set then.
All right.
Okay, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Benjamin Whitefield. Then we have Roger William Boas.
Mr. Whitfield's here, present, Judge O'May.
Okay, Mr. Whitfield, you have grand theft auto, bond set at $1,000. And you also have driving while license is suspended, first offense. Court is gonna find probable cause. You're to have no contact, direct or indirect, with the alleged victim in this case, with the initial CC. That means through no third parties, calling, social media, in person, etc. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you pay the $1,000 bond?
Ma'am.
No, he cannot, Judge.
Okay.
He's 51 years old. He's just got a job. He's employed since November for an ice cream partner. He's does their maintenance for them. He lives in Fort Lauderdale with his aunt and uncle. From what he advised me, his aunt and uncle are not in a financial position to post his bond. Judge, he's asking for your honor to consider releasing him on pretrial release.
Okay, the court, I gotta tell you, has some concern, Mr. Romero. Says here the vehicle that he was in was reported as stolen that was also involved in a kidnapping.
Well, Judge, if any follow-up investigation had been done on that, and I imagine that it might have been or would have been, Mr. Whitfield is not implicated whatsoever in that kidnapping charge. Anything could have happened to that vehicle between the time of that kidnapping and the time of Mr. Whitfield's arrest.
And Your Honor, even if you take the kidnapping investigation completely out of the equation, considering Mr. Whitfield's criminal history, grand theft auto 2010, just under 39 months state prison as a habitual offender, and that in the late 80s, he went to prison 18 years for murder in the second degree, 7 years for robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon, and then in 1991 was sentenced to 4 years in state prison for written threats to kill. I think a $1,000 bond is reasonable.
Is his address 3340 Northwest 14th Street?
Is that your address?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Judge, it is.
And Your Honor, if I could just have one moment.
And while the state's doing that, Judge, again, on this kidnapping thing, not to belabor it, but that
understand.
kidnapping happened in March of 2000. Well, it says here March of 2018. I don't think that can be correct, so we don't really know when it happened.
And Judge, I haven't had an opportunity to review the probable cause report, but I believe the actual grand theft, originated out of Dade County. I believe it was investigated by police officers. I believe, according to what Mr. Whitfield was under the assumption, Dade determined not to go ahead and arrest him, but then I guess Broward had a different point of view and the police officers arrested him here. He is looking forward to his day in court and contesting these allegations. Judge, financially, like I said before, he cannot post a monetary bond. Judge, and since he has a valid address, we'd be asking Your Honor to consider releasing him on pretrial release.
In addition to the priors I've advised the court of, he also, in 2009, was convicted of grand theft uttering a forged instrument. He was sentenced to 8 years in state prison as a habitual offender. 08, dealing in stolen property, false affidavit pertaining to a pawn item, 52.5 months state prison as a habitual offender. He was just released from state prison November 1st of 2016.
Okay, if this is what the court's gonna do, and Mr. Romero, you better explain to your client what happens if he violates ROR, no victim contact, GPS level 2.
No, they're gonna finish him with that.
Roger William Boas, B-O-A-S, and then Aaron Chaskin.
Mr. Boas, is your present, Judge?
Good morning, Mr. Boas, how are you?
Judge, I'm being advised Mr. Boas is declining the services of public defender.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Boas. How are you, sir? Mr. Romero, he said he wants you.
He keeps on going back and forth, Judge. Hold on, let
Okay.
me talk to him one last second.
Okay.
Please, thank you. Judge, he's gonna go with the public defender's office.
Okay. All right, are you Mr. Roger William Boas? Okay, sir, you have count 1, 3, and 4 is distribute or deliver heroin. Count 2 and 5 are, well, 1 is distribute or deliver cocaine, bond set at $2,500. Count 6 is possession of cocaine, your bond set at $1,000. And then you have possession of fentanyl, $1,000 bond. Count 5 and count 7 is the same thing. So you have a total of 7 counts, and you have bond at that's $10,000, $12,000, $13,000 total bond. The court does find probable cause. Does anybody wish to be heard regarding bond?
I'll let the state go first, Judge.
Your Honor, I'm asking that the bonds be kept in place. I do see, appears to be a very thorough investigation with strong evidence against Mr. Boas that he is actively involved in drug dealing. I can tell you, as far as resources, the listed residents in this case, Mr. Boas is the owner with a 2018 just market value of $275,720.
Judge, in speaking of Mr. Boas, he's 65 years old. He's been here living in our community for the past 35 years. He is a registered voter here in Broward County. He gets Social Security and disability. He gets about $1,800 a month for that. He lives in Hollywood. He owns his home. He's been there for about 7 years. However, right now, probably the bank owns it. They have the title of the deed, and he's paying about $1,400 per month on it. Judge, from what he advised me, he really doesn't have much financial resources post-bond. He believes he can come up with somewhere around the neighborhood from, I believe what he told me earlier, if the bond was somewhere of a total of $5,000. Judge, therefore, respectfully considering he's strong ties to community, basically no significant priors with the criminal justice system, Judge, we'd be asking you to reduce the bond that's currently set, I believe, at $13,000 to $5,000.
Okay, GPS level 2, court's keeping the bonds in place. Thank you. Aaron Chaskin, and then we have Jeremy Cooper. Good morning,
I've been informed Mr. Chaskin bonded, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Jeremy Cooper.
Mr. Cooper's here, Judge.
Okay, and after Mr. Cooper, we have Jerry Lee Edwards.
Yes, sir.
You Jeremy Cooper, sir? Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Sir, you have count 1 grand theft between $300 and $5,000 and possession of drug paraphernalia, which we don't have to talk about bond.
Okay.
Anybody want to be heard with regard to bond?
Judge,
Oh, wait a second, the court does find probable cause, so anybody want to be heard on that issue as well?
I'm not asking for an increase.
Okay. Go ahead,
Judge,
Mr. Romero.
Cooper is asking me to ask the court if you would consider an ROR, considering this is a non-violent offense, Judge.
And Your Honor, just to advise the court, Mr. Cooper was before the court end of January on a resisting without violence that he pled out. Before that,
When was that?
he was arrested January 24th.
Okay,
He was arrested 2 days prior to that on January 22nd on a capias for possession of drug paraphernalia. January 7th of this year for criminal mischief that he bonded out on. He also has, one moment, Judge. 7 prior felony convictions, 12 prior misdemeanor convictions, and 2 previous arrests for failure to appear in court. And he also has been to state prison for grand theft, felony theft, battery on a law enforcement officer, attempted burglary of an occupied dwelling, possession cocaine, grand theft auto. All out of Broward County.
This is for cleaning supplies for Tide. All right. Court's gonna do this. Court's gonna put him on standard pretrial release. I want him reporting 1 time a week. Not to return to the Publix at 1415 East Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He's also to call in once a week. Says address 805 Northwest 13th Terrace, number 1.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Court will ROR him and put him on standard pretrial. Thank you. Jeffrey Lee Edwards. And then we have Donald Harold Bellinger. We're almost finished.
Mr. Edwards? Is here present, Judge Maine?
Okay, are you Mr. Jeffrey Lee Edwards, sir?
Yes.
Okay, sir, you have a grand theft bond set at $1,000, and you have 2, 3, and 4 are probation violations. You are going before your division judge, Judge William Howery, on February 27th, which is Tuesday, at 8:30 a.m. I can tell you at the outset, sir, you're not to return to the Publix, located at 1415 East Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay, want to be heard with regard to $1,000 bond?
No, Judge, considering he has no bond hold on VOP.
All right, sir, if you resolve your violations of probation, just file a motion with the court to reconsider the $1,000 bond, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir, good luck to you. Donald Harold Bellinger.
Bellinger's here present.
Okay, Mr. Bellinger, you have count 1, possession of heroin, bond set at 1,000. Then the second one, possession of drug paraphernalia, we don't need to set bond. The court does find probable cause. Can you pay the $1,000?
Let me inquire right now, Judge. Judge, in speaking with Mr. Bellinger, he's going to be asking for a phone order. I asked him as far as if he gets a phone order, would he be able to contact someone post his bond? He said he's going to contact his family. And I asked him how certain is he as far as their ability to post his bond. At this time, he doesn't know. So in the abundance of caution, I did try to explain to him as far as what pretrial is, what it entails, things of that nature. So after speaking to Mr. Bellinger at this time, we're going to be asking Your Honor to consider releasing Mr. Bellinger on pretrial release. He resides in Plantation with his son and his ex-wife, Judge, and that's what we'd be asking for, Judge.
State, what's your position on standard pretrial release?
2016 misdemeanor. Well, Your Honor, I'm just going through his criminal history.
What year was this Ford Expedition he was driving?
Looks like a 2003.
Okay.
And Your Honor, Mr. Bellinger does have a criminal history, but it is dated, so in light of that and the nature of these charges, I don't have an objection to pretrial release.
Any other restrictions?
I would just be asking for, drug testing.
There's an allegation of alcohol in here, I
Is
believe.
there, one moment, Your Honor.
Just read it, I remember seeing it. I don't know if it was in,
Yeah, it mentions a heavy odor of alcohol.
all right, so this is what we're gonna do, standard pretrial release, random alcohol and testing for intoxicants/drugs. So no alcohol or intoxicants. Obviously, if he's taking a prescription medicine, court will ROR him. Thank you.
Judge, respectfully, at this time, we're gonna then ask you to, leave the standard bond in place. As you're aware, there is a cost associated with the drug testing and everything like that. That's probably gonna end up being more than the $100 that his family is gonna pay in posting his bond.
Okay,
So
either
therefore,
or.
financially, it makes sense. He's gonna try and risk and see if his family could go ahead and post his monetary bond.
Okay, based on the allegations, though, respectfully, Mr. Romero, the court is gonna keep the random drug testing in place, okay? No alcohol or intoxicants, sir. Thank you.
Is he on pretrial release, or is he gonna be bonding out, or do you want a photo order, or do you not want a phone order, or what?
I want a phone order and I want, the bond out.
Well.
So you do want a phone order?
Yes, he needs a
Okay.
phone order. One more moment, because I know Your Honor has just imposed this added thing, and it makes a difference, so I need to speak.
Okay.
Judge, in that case, then we'll go with pretrial release.
Okay, thank you.
Now, do you not want a phone order?
We'll do a phone order. Doesn't matter.
I got it done already. It's already done.
That's why we try to explain what was going on, but.
Yes, to pretrial.
Give him a phone order just in case something happens, okay? Okay, James Earl Harris.
Medical reset.
Here's his reset.
Frank Cadet,
With
He's reset for.
medical reset. You're welcome. Do we have a Frank Cadet? Do you have anybody else there, Mr. Romero? If not, we'll see you at 1.
Yeah, no.
Okay, we'll see you at 1, Judge.
Do you need a phone order to get out of there, Hector, or you okay?
I don't know if there's additional things that can stay down the record, maybe. Maybe, I don't know.
We only have 3 more, so. All right, Frank Cadet. Does anybody know where he is? Is he a medical reset or? Frank Cadet?
Your Honor.
Yes, where are you?
North Broward. He refused for his attorney.
He what?
He refused.
He refused, okay. So, he voluntarily absented himself from the court. He has a capious felony, $1,000, no return to Home Depot.
What's that?
At 3401 Oakwood Boulevard, Hollywood, Florida, 33020. Court's gonna keep the $1,000 bond in place. Thank you.
I made 2 copies, one for the PD, one for the judge.
Okay, then we have Dino Anthony Mazzola.
Just one, please.
Thank you. Okay, are you Mr. Dino Anthony Mazzola, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you have one count. It actually has a third one that's blank. I don't know why. But count one is resisting an officer, obstructing without violence, bond set at $100. And then you have trespass, unoccupied structure, or conveyance. The court does find probable cause. Does he have anything else pending?
He does not, Judge. I think, Mr. Mazzola, are you inclined to try and resolve this case this
Thank you
morning?
for-
I haven't
Sorry.
even spoken to public defender yet.
Well, you have one now, so my question to you is, are you inclined to try and resolve this case today, or do you want to post a bond of $100?
I don't have a bond for $100, but I'm not gonna plead guilty to something I didn't do.
Okay. How long have you been living here in Broward County?
All my life since the age of 6.
How long have you been living where you live now?
Maybe a year.
Are you working?
No, I'm a disability.
Okay. And do you have any friends and family here in the area?
I have a little bit of family, but they're all, I don't know, they don't talk to me no more.
You have a valid mailing address?
Not at the moment.
All right. Well, Judge, Mr. Mazzola doesn't want to resolve his case. It's a couple of misdemeanors and a $100 bond. I'd ask the court to consider an ROR.
The problem is, Your Honor, he was arrested Monday on 4 separate cases, 2 for state charges, 2 for MO charges. He pled the cases out, was released on Tuesday, arrested on this case on Wednesday.
Can we hit the mic so he can hear you?
He was the gentleman who wouldn't swear. He just said he wanted to tell the truth. He wasn't going to affirm. That was Tuesday.
Yeah, I was in here. Yeah. But in addition to all that, Your Honor, he has a pending battery on a law enforcement officer and trespass. Noting in this case, he's alleged to threaten to beat up the officer. 2016 resisting without violence and trespass. One moment, Your Honor. I just want to get a number here.
He was sleeping in front of a business.
At about 9 a.m.
Under the trespass sign.
And one moment, Judge.
He said to the officer, "I will beat you up."
I know it says that he threatened to beat the officer up, Judge, but it does go on to say that the officer took out his baton, told Mr. Mazzola to sit on the ground, and he did. So, I understand, and then there's some bad language, but, as far as it is resisting without violence, but it's not. When he was told to sit down, he sat down.
But before that, why the officer had to take out his baton.
Yes,
So
I
today-
know, Judge.
May I say something, Your Honor?
I
Still
would
talk about
recommend
the
against
facts
it.
of the case, okay? Just as
I'm
to
just
bond,
saying,
sir.
I was passed out, drunk. I have no recollection of anything.
Yeah, well, that may not necessarily be a defense, Mr. Mazzola, but when we ask you not to talk about the facts of your case, there's a reason.
Just being honest, that's all.
Your Honor, I'm only bringing this, and I understand these are allegations, but I think the court should be aware of the allegations from his open battery on a law enforcement officer case. Law enforcement responded to.
This is what the court's gonna do.
Yes, ma'am.
He's being held on the other case. He can't bond out, right?
No, he's just being held on these 2 counts, Your Honor.
Okay, what's his bond on the other case?
One moment.
I bonded out on the other case.
So he has a pending case.
Yes, he's got a $1,500 bond on the battery on a law enforcement officer, and that was posted December 26th, and no bond was attached to the trespass.
All right, court's gonna leave his bond at $100. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Brian Patrick Kelly.
Broward, in North Broward, Judge.
Okay, do we have a Brian Patrick Kelly? Is there anybody there at North Broward? Can you call North Broward maybe? And then we have William Gerald Peacock.
That would be a county facility, Your Honor.
Okay,
Good morning, Your Honor.
what's your name, sir?
William Peacock.
Okay, Mr. Peacock, you are charged with attempted burglary of an unoccupied conveyance 3 times. We need to talk about your bond. Court does find probable cause.
I haven't had an opportunity to speak with my attorney in regards to this matter.
Your Honor, I provided the court with the findings from his original first appearance before Judge Davis. As the court can see, Judge Davis found probable cause for attempt on the 3 counts. In light of that, and I believe he's also being held no bond on a VOP, in light of that, I'm just going to request that the court set the bonds back in place at $1,000 per count.
I was arrested strictly on the test, somebody saying I did something. I don't see that being probable cause. I was walking down the street with a beer in one hand.
Let's not get into confessing to anything, Mr. Peacock. You're being held no bond. You're being held no bond on counts 4 through 6. Do you have a public defender or do you have a private attorney?
I have a public defender that I've called 3 times every single day for the past month and have been unable to reach him.
Who's your public defender?
Michael Spear.
What's the last name?
Spear.
Okay, I don't recognize that name.
Where'd you get that name from, sir?
Clerk Spear. Michael Litt.
Okay, I know who he is. I know who he is. All right, I'm going to have him call you and see you.
Call me. All right.
And Your Honor, just so Mr. Peacock's aware, he's scheduled for arraignment next Tuesday before Judge Usan at 9 a.m.
All right, sir, you have a no bond hold on other counts, so the court's gonna leave your bonds at $1,000 each on these. And the court does find probable cause. Thank you, sir.
My probation, I talked to my probation officer. He told me he didn't violate me. That violation.
Hold on,
something
Mr. Peacock, you're not helping yourself.
strictly that BSO did.
What's he
I'm not
have the
hurting
no bond
myself
hold
either.
on? Hold on, sir. What's his no
Okay.
bond hold on?
There's a violation.
No,
on
I'm
there.
not asking you, sir. I'm asking let the state attorney talk, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
2 separate things. He still has a no bond hold on a 94806 VOP from another state. But in addition to that, he's being held no bond. When he was arrested on these offenses, he had a pending burglary conveyance resisting without violence, and his bond or release was revoked on those charges. So he's being held no bond in that case as well.
Okay, so you have an out-of-state no bond hold, sir.
I've spoken with those officers and they have not violated me. I'm
All right.
only being held because BSO put that violation on the charge file list.
All right, then, Mr. Reedy here in the courtroom, I'm gonna direct that you have the public defender go visit him within the next 2-3 days, or by Monday at least.
Yeah, I'll talk to Mr. Leclerc Spear.
Appreciate it.
Okay?
Yeah, that's no problem, Mr. Peacock. I'll be glad to do that for you.
And if they,
Okay.
change those no bond holds, I'll be more than happy to take a second look.
And just so Mr. Peacock's aware, even if the out-of-state VOP was gone tomorrow, he's still held no bond on another case before Judge Usan.
The bond.
We'll take things one step at a time, Mr. Peacock, okay?
Okay, that'll work.
All right, hang in there, man.
Okay, where
yeah, I'll be the
is
one.
Brian Kelly?
You too. Called North Broward, Judge. I didn't get an answer, but that's where I show him as being. Maybe we could reset him for this afternoon, or
No problem.
is that okay with you, State?
Sorry?
Any deputy at North Broward? Hello?
Reset Kelly for this afternoon?
One moment, let me just check something.
Can anybody call over there, maybe?
I just did.
Well, maybe, Ms. Patrice or Ms. Confinement could call over there and get a hold of them, maybe? I don't know.
Was this, I guess, was this supposed to be taken off? 'Cause it's
Yeah, he failed to appear, no show. Thank you, Ms. Patrice, I appreciate it. We need Brian Kelly, or we can reset him for this afternoon.
It's
How
up to
long
you,
does it
Judge.
take?
It's a 2-second hearing. He's got no bond holds.
Unfortunately, I actually have to work on it now that I gotta get this out like right away. If you have any questions, feel free to email me anytime you want. Any questions? Yeah, if we ever, yes. Okay. The next time you come in, you'll handle about 15 to 20,000 cases to roommate pediatric. Just need to give me at least a few days heads up to make sure everything's scheduled. We'll get here. Yep.
Like last week.
Oh, no problem. Hold on one moment.
That's fine. All right, we'll see you. Bye.
Brian Kelly, he was supposed to come up today for magistrate court.
Ryan Kelly?
Brian,
Ryan Kelly, just a moment. Sorry about it.
it's okay.
It's not about that. I just want to get it done so I don't have to.
Judge, the last name is Kelly?
Kelly. We can actually set him for this afternoon if it's gonna, how long do you think it'll take you to get him?
Maybe about 10 or 15 minutes.
All right,
But he wasn't on our list.
All right, so let's do this. Let's reset him for this afternoon,
Okay.
so you don't have to get him and we don't have to wait and I can release everybody. So,
problem, ma'am.
can you just do me a favor and make sure he's here? It's Brian Patrick Kelly.
Ryan Patrick Kelly, yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. See you soon.
Nice rest of the morning.
Okay.